morning. Joe Justice here, coming to you live on May 10th of 2023. We are with the Kanawha Valley Hustlers podcast, and I want to give you a quick reminder here before we go any further that on May 22nd I will be I will be with Advantage Technology working the Extreme Commercial Bundle Lunch and Learn presentation, and that's going to be at Recovery Grill right there in downtown Charleston. So if you want to sign up, I've got it in the comments, and you can come join us, see us live as we do our thing and talk about the latest and greatest from extreme technology. Right now, today, I have got a really pretty interesting guest for you guys when it comes to talking about the hustle and when it comes to Kanawha Valley. I think that she is a very interesting topic for sure. Her name is Christie Trent, and she is a software developer and a content creator here in the Kanawha Valley. So without any further ado, Christie, I want to bring you up and ask you, what's your hustle?
Well, I always joke that I have two speeds. It's either off or go, go, go. So I feel like everything I do, I hustle, whether it's working out or writing code or being really involved with plants and the plant-based diet. But my two big passions right now are programming, which I've been doing for 20 years. And I have a side project, Plant-Based Nerd. And I'm actually getting ready to release a book that's available on Amazon for pre-sale about the plant-based diet. Yes.
It's available now for pre-sale?
Yes, it's called Harvesting Change, the Transformative Power of a Plant-Based Diet. I switched my diet back in 2020 for some health issues, and it was made such a big change in my life. I just started sharing it online. And I haven't stopped talking about it since.
That's very cool. I know that feeling. I know exactly how you feel. So that's part of your content creation side of your hustle. Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your book. How did you come to publish that? Did you have a publisher or are you self-publishing?
Self-published on Kindle Direct Publishing.
Okay, great. I'm familiar with the platform. Was it a learning curve writing a book and learning how to publish it for yourself?
I think learning my writing style. I do have actually a few drafts of different kinds of books. I have one. I'm actually looking for an illustrator right now, and it's to teach kids about code and programming. So I have a few little ideas, but I think me just having the confidence to write has been my biggest challenge.
So do you have a little bit of that, you're kind of intimidated by the blank page? Is that the situation you find yourself in?
Well, I have the stories in my head, and the book Harvesting Change is not really a story as much as it's just information, but I'm still just learning my writing style and having confidence that it's going to be enjoyable to read.
Sure, absolutely. Well, let's take a step back from that for just a minute and talk about this programming thing. So you say you've been programming for 20 years. That's a pretty good long career for a computer programmer. How did you get started doing that?
Well, I was actually, so back in the 90s, I had moved to Florida. I was born in Beckley and raised in Oceana, and I was a college dropout. I moved to Beckley, and I just borrowed a book. There wasn't as many resources back then, so I would work as a maid during the day, and I would get on dial-up, and I would borrow family members' computer and internet, or go to the library, and just started teaching myself like HTML and CSS, a little bit of JavaScript, CGI back then. And then a few years later, I went from being a maid to working at a video rental Blockbuster, and then just started applying for some jobs doing development, like web development, things like that. And sure enough, I applied for 3 jobs and I got 2 job offers. And I've worked as a programmer since then.
Wow. Wow, that's incredible. So what kind of language do you use on a day-to-day basis today?
A lot of Cold Fusion, SQL Server, Bootstrap, jQuery, a little bit of .NET and C#. But Cold Fusion, that's what I started doing 20 years ago, and that's my primary my large contract and project right now is for data management for clinical trials, and it's using Cold Fusion and SQL Server still to this day, 20 years later.
Wow. So but you're an independent programmer, is that right? You don't work for a company?
That's correct. I spent most of my career working for a government contractor for the Navy and the Marines, a medical school, the state of West Virginia. But in 2020, we got sent home to work remotely, and I noticed this really big improvement in how much time I could dedicate to working out and eating healthy. And I loved working from home. And so I quit my corporate job and started doing contract work. And I've been self-employed, 100% self-employed since 2020.
So, what was that transition like for you? What were some of the challenges that you had to overcome there in going from a corporate job to self-employed?
It was very scary. What I did, I would not recommend to everyone. I jumped ship very quickly, and with great risk, there's great reward, I guess. But learning how to do taxes, and of course now I have a CPA for that. There was a big learning curve. Just trying to find my own insurance, invest in my own self-employed IRA. There's just a lot of things that you might take for granted working for someone else. A lot of behind the scenes and benefits.
Yep, I know exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Exactly what you're talking about. That type of stuff. So, what about mindset wise when it comes to working for yourself, working for others? I know a lot of people really like having that kind of structure of going into an office and having a set routine day to day, and some people really thrive in more of the do whatever you need to get done in whatever time you have kind of environment. What was it like for you?
Honestly, I really thrived working from home, but I did have structure. I got up and would go for a walk every morning to start my day, work out. I still had set office hours that I kept, and I've always kept a routine and structure because if I didn't, it would probably it would fall apart. I would procrastinate or get distracted by something. So I still keep that structure, even though it's just for myself and in my home instead of for someone else.
I think that's a good idea. I know I talk to a lot of people that have a really similar experience, but I've known a few people that can thrive in that kind of chaos. But most of the time, they end up having an assistant or somebody that can actually keep everything together and keep everything in order. I think finding like that structured, like you still set office hours even though you're at your home office. That seems to work out best for most people.
Definitely.
So tell me about how you transitioned. I know you haven't transitioned completely. I know it's one of your side hustles, but how have you gone from software development, computer programming into this whole world of plant-based dieting and content creation and just informing the public about the health benefits of that?
Well, I had really some chronic pain issues since childhood. I had regular ear issues that led to multiple ruptures. Every year I was having ear infections. I had back pain from elementary school to in my 40s. And when I changed my diet, it was life changing. Everything changed. Everything got better. I don't even have seasonal allergies anymore. And I think at first I was almost a little bit bitter because I was like, why didn't no one tell me this when I was going through all these ear infections? Why didn't someone say maybe cut out sugar and dairy? But then I just decided I was going to be that voice and I started talking about it and just sharing my experience. And of course, everyone's different. But I just wanted to start sharing, excuse me, my experience and how profound it was in my life to maybe help some people.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds really cool, very interesting, and it sounds like you went on quite a journey there. And that's really cool that you've published a book. That's really unique. A lot of people don't go as far with informational type content as actually going through a book. I know how difficult it is to write a book, and sitting down and doing that is no easy feat. But we are running up against our time, and what I was wanting to ask is if you could tell everybody who's watching what's one thing that they could do today to improve themselves, to improve their hustle, their overall mindset. If there was one thing that you could tell everybody to do, what would that one thing be?
I would say positive mindset and do everything with intent and try to tune out distractions and what's going on around you. A positive mindset and thinking that you can do anything that you set your mind to will take you very far.
Awesome. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Christy, for joining me. That was very informative and very cool. I want to thank everybody for watching and make sure to remind you one last time that I will be at the Recovery Sports Grill right in downtown Charleston on May 22nd for our new Lunch and Learn on Extreme Networks commercial bundle. So if networking or anything like that interests you, if you're doing any new construction or remodeling of your office, it's a great opportunity to learn about it. Could save you some big time money. So make sure you come check that out. Again, that's going to be May 22nd. And until next time, thank you so much for joining us and watching us today. We will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.